Well, hello out there, and welcome to the Old Ways Twitch live play of the Shadowrun 5th Edition adventure drake.Revenge. I'm Lecco. I have the pleasure of serving as Game Master for our cast of exhausted characters, for whom introductions are to follow, but not before, extending our the deepest of gratitudes to our listeners and viewers and subscribers and followers and Patreon supporters. Our love runs deep. Um, so now for introductions, beginning with our player in the upper right position. And one of these days, they're going to remember who they are. Go for it.
I'm just going to assume that's me because no one else has spoken up yet. Hi, it's me. I'm Bunny Hearted, cheater, or they and them. I'm a trans retro anime bunny girl villain VTuber. Don't worry about it. I love Shadowrun. I love all of these people. I'm here playing Hollow Mercury, or a sort of facey thief who lost her scruples on the subway and hasn't gotten them back yet.
As if all good things happen on the subway, um, or in
She's got
subway,
like one scruple. She's slowly acquiring scruples through friendship.
these are the friends that you want for that. And in the lower right hand corner, clearly with all of their scruples intact.
Mm-hmm. Wait, it's not only me. You should say our names.
Cowboy,
Is it my turn?
it's your turn. Yeah, in the lower right, that's you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Morgan. I play Cowboy. Our pronouns are she, her, and I'm just here to shoot things tonight.
Well, hopefully we'll
Cross
have plenty of
fingers.
things for you to shoot. And in the lower left,
Hi, I'm Pesto Mystic, and tonight I'm playing Rusty, who has like an allergy problem. It's a lot of fun, and I like to drive things, and then I like friendship, but I'm very, very new at all this Shadowrun stuff, so I can't wait to let Cowboy shoot things for me.
and I'm sure Cowboy would has plenty of ammo for such things. And last but certainly not least, in the upper left, close us out or bring us in.
Certainly. Hi, I'm Mike. I am the chief catalyst at the Old Ways. I'll be playing for your pleasure or pain tonight. I'll be playing Saint, who is, at last we left him wrapping up a wonderful evening, likely one which extends into the morning. And he is, because of this crowd, he's very thankful that he has secured that dock wagon contract.
We never really know how difficult, or in some cases hard, recovery might be.
You got to stretch.
You do, but it's really it's funny that you brought up the morning, because time is a luxury that is afforded to mighty magical creatures and the most stubborn of elves. But it always works against the Shadowrunner in ways that often don't become clear until it is too late, or early. Depending, is where we find ourselves today. Whether the night brings with it mysterious creatures and strange occurrences, or moments of intimate release, rest is elusive, and there are too many questions, not enough answers, and damn sure not enough time. We find ourselves in downtown Seattle. The light from the east-facing third-story windows cutting through the early morning smog creates a haze that tints everything a shade of emerald that gives the skyline kind of an ethereal, otherworldly, toxic shimmer. Saint, you wake on a pile of satin sheets, haphazardly strewn about the floor of this modestly sized, but nonetheless extravagant living space. You've never really intended to fall asleep, but between surgery, exhaustion, exertion, and even the most optimized of humans need recharging, or elves in your case. As you awake, seated cross-legged, kind of opposite you, in a lounger sipping from some steaming cup of aromatic tea, you see Eden, draped in a familiar-looking dress shirt, kind of lazily over her superstar assets. There's a hint of mischief in her eyes as she kind of watches you stir.
Nice shirt.
Well, I figured I'd have to take something, otherwise I'd start charging you rent.
I stretch and try to see if I can get any more flexibility out of the recent medical procedure.
You find that your connective tissue is responding very, very well, given the morning twist. As you wake up, she kind of hops out of the chair and goes over to a breakfast nook where you see there's a second cup that she brings over to you. She kind of leans down and offers it to you. Boy's got to stay hydrated.
Absolutely. I will, I'll work my way up into a sitting position and flex the back and then stand up and then do this immediate fall to like a push-up position and then push back off and just try to get loose.
Okay. As you're kind of trying to get limber, she returns to her seat in a bit more of a conservative seated position. Well, the fun part's over, so I guess I did promise you a bit of business.
Indeed.
Akemi Todumasa. She is quite the tear. She's earned a place in, I guess, what you could call high society. For a voice to outlive their dragon patron is kind of unheard of in our age, considering, well, how young we are. Akemi's one of the first. And at this point, she's revered as one of the foremost authorities on Western dragon culture, history, and etiquette. She's seen by the great dragons that remain as kind of a stray pet, a lost, forlorn puppy without an owner. And many maturing dragons coming to their own have known to seek her counsel in matters navigating the entangled web of their species politics.
She's dangerous. That much is clear.
That she is. Why are you looking into her?
Saint probably goes into a bit of a not mechanical mode, but he just starts doing things because he realizes that the talk they're having is really just a preamble to him having to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'll just begin collecting things as he talks, likely pants, perhaps shoes, etc.
Begin collecting your belongings. The rooms, luckily for you, the room's not too large.
We're looking into her for information, something very specific, something she likely does not want to give up.
Only information.
And when I look over at her, how much do you really want to know?
I just want to know if I'm going to get you killed.
It's possible, but then death is a finality for anyone.
Well, I'd rather die rich and relaxed if it's all the same to you.
Certainly, and I'm certain it will get there.
Well, it's a bit of a busy time for her. A certain Big D and Ms. Davia are actually planning on having her on their talk show this morning.
Oh.
Normally we'd find her at the Golden Scale Academy, where she does her tutelage. It's not a traditional school by any stretch. She only has one apprentice, as far as I know. They've only been open for a couple of years.
Well, we're looking to get inside.
Well, then I would suggest trying to do your best to interact with with Akemi's apprentice. As like I said, Akemi will be otherwise occupied this morning, and I'm sure well into the afternoon, because, well, an interview on Dunkelzahn's show means an interview on another show following up about your interview on Dunkelzahn's show. One can presume that her morning will be packed. But that does provide with a window of opportunity.
Indeed it does. I'll slide back over to her chair and sort of inhale a little bit of the tea just to get its scent. It's real, and so it's unlikely I smell real tea often. I need a way to securely access the facility, or at least a vector, whether it's matrix or something else. If I have to pose as a school kid, I will.
Well, there's not
We're
really.
not in a position.
Like I said, she chooses her apprentices. So going there under pretense, I don't know what necessarily. Well, under false pretense, I don't know. I don't know how far that would get you, and I don't think her place is on the grid outside of being a tourist destination. Kimmy believes in records and paper and books, tomes.
The thing that we need has to be printed. It has to be written down. It can't be held in any sort of matrix database.
Well, it's not to say this interaction has to be hostile. So,
What can you tell me about the apprentice if you know anything?
his name's Hector. He's a human in his early 20s. She found him in some Aslan refuge on a little trip that she took south. Their story thus far hasn't been too publicly shared, and she tends to afford him a level of privacy and insulation when questions come up about him. I know that he spends most of his time at the school.
We can assume that he's a threat as well, then.
I'm assuming, I would assume he's quite capable if he's studying under her.
Eden, the thing that we want, she won't give up. It's not in her nature to give it up. It would be like asking for a part of someone's beating heart.
Well, if it's there, I would suggest you go for the heart while the eyes are not looking.
I plan to. I don't want any blowback on you, so
He kind of hops out of the chair and pads barefoot over to the counter, writes a few things on a small piece of paper, folds it up, holds it out to you between a couple fingers.
I take it.
This is where you'll find the school. It's on the 67th floor of a skyscraper not far from here. It's a simple space, but Akimi has the entire floor. I am not aware of any physical security there. That's not to say that there isn't any.
Certainly. And knowing her, there's likely a fair amount of mystical security.
It's hard to say. Kimmy is not humble, though she's careful. I don't know that she would assume that anyone would dare tread foot, but I don't want to speculate too much. Look, I have a packed afternoon myself.
I understand. I appreciate the time.
I appreciate
I get a little like business-like,
I
and
appreciate
then
the note and the shirt.
Oh no. I'm gonna move a little faster than she's likely prepared, and I'm gonna just grab onto the bottom of the shirt, and I'm gonna say, I need this right now. And then I take it.
If you insist. She kind of spins out of it. As she does show, you get a bit of a flash of what was going on underneath it, which is relatively nothing. And without really missing much of a beat, she continues her pirouette and walks away from you toward the outside patio.
I put the shirt on. I'm sure it smells like Simpson Star now.
It do.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Meanwhile, we return to a small one-story house in the suburbs where there are a group of weary Shadowrunners resting from surgery, lounging on rooftops, and perhaps napping on the couch or wondering what the hell has been going on in the evening. The morning finds you in kind of an awkward state of comfort. You actually, the rest of the evening goes relatively quiet. Cowboy, do you stay on the roof the whole time?
Yeah, I think I will. I'll nap on the roof too.
Okay. The morning dew sets in pretty harshly. And there's that that very familiar kind of Seattle toxic film that seems to kind of start accumulating. It's lighter in this area, but it's still present.
I probably taste it in my mouth.
And yeah, everywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. I get up and stretch, and I scamper down the roof.
Okay. You make it down. Are you going back inside, or are you staying outside? What's your plan?
I'll go back inside.
Okay. As you go inside, you see Hollow Mercury stirring on the couch.
Are you making coffee or am I making coffee?
I'll
We
make
don't have the
coffee.
real stuff, but great. Then I'm going back to bed. She's gonna put her feet up.
Okay. Should be making coffee. In the upstairs bedroom, Rusty, you don't really shoot awake, but your eyes kind of open. They just open as you find yourself kind of staring up at the ceiling. This very bland, very sterile, very like off-white stucco, uniform stucco ceiling. You can still smell it in the room. That kind of wet dog, lingering malfeasance.
I feel like I had a dream about that dog where I was just always chasing after it. And then it was just always too far from me. And I get bored looking at the ceiling. So
The boring ceiling.
it's very boring. It's suburban. And then I slunk out of bed, and then I just slowly make my way down the stairs, blowing my nose the entire time, because, man, morning allergies are the worst.
Yeah. All right. That's how you all agreed. The coffee machine on one side and the rusty machine on the other side.
Gonna take the couch pillows and like hide her head underneath them.
Sounds wonderful.
I'm going to start poking Mercury, though, over the pill. Like, hey,
You already woke me up
Hi.
so many times. What do you want?
I was just double checking if that was for real. Thank you very much for the clarification. How are you? And then I kind
Your
of jump on the
weird dog.
couch.
Your weird dog is, oh no. This let me move my legs.
Nope.
Your weird dog
friends now.
Sure is weird.
Yeah, that was weird. Did you dream up any like solutions to that? Do you know anything about that?
No, I had she's gonna play with her hair. I had very different dreams.
Okay, Cowboy, what about you?
Oh, I saw somebody turn into a fox last night. And I pour the coffee.
Whispered to Mercury.
What?
And you thought I was weird. Like,
Oh,
I mean, we saw a ghost dog.
just as a quick
A ghost, but not the right word.
quick aside, just to make sure, Saint, where are you headed after your departure?
Okay, so I know my team and I know them pretty well. There are some things that I occasionally engage in that they don't know about. But what I am doing is, since I'm in such a such a platinum spot, I'm going to get coffee from a local place here, which is likely like, 2 or 3 times as expensive as we would get out, where the medium lifestyle is. And so I'm going to drop like 150 yen on coffee and bring 4 coffee and espressos to go, because I need to kickstart this team because we suddenly have a run to do immediately.
Okay. Yeah, you end up at the place called the Third Bean. Um, it kind of exists in a bit of a small square where a lot of the local shops are, and they are happy to sell you overpriced cappuccinos and espressos.
Good. Double shots.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
Okay. Saint resumes his travel. Sorry, back at the house.
So she turned into a fox?
Yeah, I felt somebody watching me. I saw some woman with like costumed ears on her and a tail, but then she really did turn into a fox.
We're
It was
pretty
really
confident
impressive.
that's not this orifice person.
Orifice? Orifice.
That this night.
Oh, you're saying that. I see. Okay, never mind. I gotcha. I went a whole different direction.
That is the name, right? I haven't just woken up completely unhinged. That was the actual
Oh,
name.
that
wasn't
terrible
it?
name, the orifice. Yes. No,
I didn't just dream that in
understand.
some kind of
No,
terrible,
you didn't.
No.
terrible nightmare. I
No.
wish that I did.
Don't you want to beat it? Orifice?
I think we're getting way down the rabbit hole.
Oh, right. The fox lady.
You know what? That's probably the play, right? That's the play. Maybe this guy has actually got like big brain stuff going on, right? So names himself something totally weird like orifice. And then we spend all of our time here wondering, like, how do you get away with having that kind of a name? Can you like do that publicly? And then we get shot. That's the play. We're gonna be too confused, too fixated on the ridiculous name that we won't like, shoot him.
Okay, let's get it all out now. Then let's just keep saying orifice. That way,
Are we
when come
chanting
face to
orifice
face-
now? I hope
Yeah,
so.
that way-
No,
soon.
we're
We'll lose
not
the
changing
power.
orifice.
No, we're not. Okay.
The front
Good
door
point.
opens as you are chanting orifice, and the saint is standing there wearing the same clothes he left in last night, carrying
Orifice.
carrying a 4-pack of what looks like some sort of local brand.
Good morning.
Orifice.
Oh, indeed.
Welcome home. Sort
I
of.
kick the door shut. I've got some overpriced espresso. Do you need to wake up? We have a job.
Oh,
Perfect. I dump my cup down the sink and take a cup.
we could have had 2 coffees. I got 2 hands, cowboy.
It seems to hang onto the cup a little longer than you like, but you pour it.
All right. So this school, which isn't a school actually, it's an office floor. Learned through a contact of mine last night that Akimi is going to be out today and likely into the afternoon. And so her apprentice, Hector, will be there. It gives us an opportunity to research and recon before finding a way inside. Keep drinking. I grab my coffee and drink. Probably
It's not really a
little
lot
too
of time
fast.
for any legwork here. Do we know how long she's out today from this?
Probably
Gonna wiggle
early
her eyebrows
afternoon.
a little bit. Contact.
Well, she's appearing on a talk show, Dunk Lazone's talk show. And so it's a pretty high profile media experience. That will take a lot of her attention. And if we plan it right during when it airs, we actually might be able to take advantage of her attention being a little diverted. Being in the room with such a powerful presence, like a dragon, while it wouldn't be necessarily unknown to her, it could potentially take her off her game and keep her a little distracted. There's a building downtown. I have an address. It's the 67th floor. What we need to determine what are any of the potential modes of getting inside And then how do we locate what we need once we're there? Akimi will not part with this tome. The name is written in without a cost. And so we really have a couple of avenues. We could potentially try to work our way inside socially and convince this Hector person to, I don't know, agree with our cause, locate the book, could potentially try to buy him off. I doubt very highly that he's going to be pliable in any sort of fashion like that, but we can't rule that out. I keep drinking the coffee.
I guess maybe we start by learning everything we can about this actor guy.
Luckily, the Matrix is a little faster than the library, right?
In theory.
Okay. We get to work. Probably would be a good idea, Rusty, to drive around the building or at least recon the building with drones at all possible. Get a rough view of what we're looking at, even if it's from 100 or 200 meters, at least eyes on the building to understand what's there. And we know the relative floor we're going after, so that will shrink things.
Got it.
And Cowboy, I guess make sure you're ready to shoot someone.
Do you want me to go with Rusty to make sure they stay safe?
I'm sure. You can do the same for Mercury here if she plans on jacking in. But we have
Yeah,
to be
probably should.
we have to be very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you all wrap up your coffee. The morning has finished setting in, and my question is going to be then, who is doing what and where?
Well,
Go ahead.
speed is of the essence. Should I just jack into the building? Go somewhere local?
Yeah, I mean, you
What's on
could
the first
potentially
floor?
go scout the building out in the Matrix. That's probably the first step.
Yeah, take a look at it, but you can bypass some bullshit if we're just, in a cafe bathroom. She'll do that. She's going to hop in and do some basic research.
So are you getting on the Matrix here in the house?
Yeah, let's go to the Matrix here.
Okay. You log on to which deck are you using?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably the fancy one.
So the one that isn't smoking is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wait, is that thing still smoking?
It is, when you pull it out this morning, it's not looking very good. Most of the
Is
keys.
it still hot? Like
It is
to
not
the
only
touch?
it is not only hot. Most of the key switches at this point have shorted or bonded.
Cool.
The outer husk is cracked and kind of charred, and the whole thing just seems to be dying.
Right. What's the type of the one that works? Just so I have a number which
I
one's the right one.
believe it is a. Not that one. It is the Cyber 6 with all the programs that I provided and the vid screen option, hit your jacks, response increase, all that fun jazz.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
Double storage, chip burner. So you log on to the local system. This is basically a residential node, and you venture out into you basically leave the cul-de-sac and venture out into the neighborhood, and you can see in the distance downtown where the LTG for this address would be. And you merge into public traffic and begin traveling down the large trunk data lines that run parallel to the roads. You can see the grid cars in their tube loading along mindlessly on autopilot. There are board agents just kind of moving the cars in a straight line.
Mumble something about still having to commute in the future. It's so silly.
And then as you approach downtown, things get much, much louder as the signal picks up considerably, and the nodes for the mega corporate structures start to make up the majority of like the matrix skyline. And you can see the S Technology Pyramid, you can see the Renrico Arcology, which is buzzing with activity. So go ahead and give me a what? So are you looking? Are you just going specifically to the building? I guess that's my first question.
I mean, not super quickly. She's gonna take her time walking up to it. I mean, I guess not walking, but moving up to it. She's not gonna try to be super obvious and hit all of the ports all at once and be a real obvious investigator here. But she is basically going straight there.
Okay.
Just one step at a time, carefully.
So as you approach the system that basically the LTG it provided gives you like a building. So you basically end up at the system that manages the building, or in this case, the Orion Business Center. And as you walk up, you can see the Orion branding over the front of the entrance point to the system. You can see there's an obvious guest entrance. Where there seems to be an information desk, where some program looks like it's waiting for anyone.
You know what? That seems like a good starting point. Let's go saunter on over there.
Hello, and welcome to Orion Property Management. How can I be of assistance?
Hi there. I'm curious about renting some office space. I'm wondering what your availability is.
It begins rattling off a number of stipulations and requirements that come with inquiring as to the nature of getting a quote for a space, stating requirements for a space, the business's license is required in order to operate in downtown Seattle, the business license is required in order to rent a space in this particular building, et cetera, et cetera. And it begins kind of handing you pamphlets.
She will appreciatively take 1,000,000 virtual pamphlets.
But it provides you an abundance of information. Basically, the long and short of it, make an appointment. And someone will meet you at the space and then show you around and then assess your needs and determine whether or not you may or may not be a good fit. Appointments generally can take anywhere from 48 to 72 hours to occur.
Thank you so much for all this information, but I represent a rather busy client. Number one concern is, of course, security for corporate data storage. Curious if you can talk a little bit about any past security incidents. Are there any records and that sort of stuff? What have you got for me?
I'm afraid that I'm not at liberty to discuss such matters. However, if you make an appointment with our staff, we can gladly make sure that you have an agent that can provide you with all that information. Could I set up an
I
appointment
don't
for
have
you?
enough time for that. How hackable does this program look? Submissive and hackable? Let's find out.
That's a very good question.
Sounds like it might know.
So of the actions at your disposal, if you have your 2050 book available, I would encourage you to hop over to page 162 where the matrix actions begin, and we'll go over like a quick... Thank you. We'll go over a really quick primer on what you might want to do with this poor program.
Page 162.
Yeah, the 2050 book.
Combat actions. There we go. Matrix actions. Right.
Right. And there's also a bunch of utility pieces that happen before that, but if you just want to take an action, these are kind of what you have available. So if you're looking to analyze the program, for example, if you want to know what it does, you would run analyze.
Yeah, let's start there.
You'd run analyze ICE. So
Get an idea of its capabilities.
Yeah, analyze ICE is on 158. This is ICE. Clearly, you're not sure.
Yeah, definitely.
The uniform it's wearing is kind of a mottled gray, but it's not really a dead giveaway. So what you would want to do is roll an analyze plus logic test against the
Ooh.
IC's rating. So this is analyze is a utility, right? That's on the deck. You should have the rating for that
Mhm.
in the stats of the deck.
It's
Plus your
4
plus your
plus logic.
Yep. Threshold is its rating.
Do. Or sweet.
Now you're running it on the program or the node. This is an important distinction.
Let's do it on the program first.
Okay.
Dice go, but I got 1. Ooh.
All right. You begin running your analyze program. So this can be an extended test if the interval is 1 combat turn to begin analysis. Using, as we haven't necessarily reconstructed the iconography in this deck, the analyze program on Hamfist's deck very much fits the theme that he has of his barbarian persona, or his two-handed axe-wielding orc barbarian persona. So as the agent is talking, you kind of dig through your bag and you pull out what looks to be some sort of stick, like some sort of stick with all sorts of things hanging off of it. It looks like some sort of dowsing rod, perhaps. And as you run the utility, your arm begins shaking as you like wave it up and down the program, and you begin kind of chanting.
Hodad must scan.
Yes. And you smack it around a couple times. So while that is happening, so you jack in at the house. Hollow Mercury slumps over. Also, are you running any? Because the deck is capable of providing a vid screen feed to anyone that is sitting there necessarily. There's also Hitcher Jack. I'm just curious as to whether
You know what? Sure, yeah. May as well turn that on just in case anyone wants to peek in.
All right. So you all see the giant green orc with the two-handed axe waving a dowsing rod at some baseless drone in a lobby. So make another roll for me. Is anyone doing anything in the meantime?
I mean, my plan was to do basically area knowledge on that portion of Seattle.
Okay. You go ahead and roll it.
1 more.
Okay.
I keep rolling only one. I have so many dice.
It will make a perception test.
Excuse you, that's a crime.
What is the what is the masking on that deck? Or not the sorry, the sleeves.
Sleeves 3.
Okay. It seems to be regarding, you see it launch a utility as you're analyzing it and continue shaking your dowsing rod. Looks like 3 successes for the
for
area knowledge.
Area knowledge.
So what I can tell you about the area of downtown, it is in one of the larger business parks. It is not in anywhere near the tallest skyscraper downtown, but that area is known to be. So it's on Seattle property proper. It's not in a mega corporate enclave or on any sort of sovereign land. It is managed by Seattle, the district of downtown. So it all falls under the gubernatorial jurisdiction.
Okay.
Which would mean that Lone Star enforcement. It would mean a security. It would mean it's a relatively secure area, though not necessarily like trespass, shoot on sight kind of area.
That's a factoid I'll file away for later because it might become important.
Maybe, yeah, it could be. As far as the area itself, there's no parking in that area, right? There's a massive kind of green parkland square in between all these buildings, so you would have to park in a structure well away from the building and either take a transport underground to the reception area underneath the building, right? The subway that runs underneath the building where a lot of those kind of commuter trains run locally, right? They don't run outside the area. They just kind of move from business park to business park. Otherwise, you have to park above ground in one of the parking structures, pay an outlandish fee, and then walk, which is what most people do, unless they are employees or residents in one of those buildings.
Okay. So what I'll do is forward a basis of that information in short to Rusty and to Cowboy so they understand what they're looking at before they get to the place. They understand.
Oh, the only other thing that you would get with the other success is air traffic control is thick in that area. Even commuter choppers and all of those kind of like, there are wasps and yellow jackets in the area constantly because there are so many rooftop like helicopter pads and like VTOL pads that need to run on very, very tight schedules in that area.
Okay. So you have like the airborne soup problem.
A little bit, yeah.
And so I'd probably mention to Rusty that if you deploy a drone, then you need to keep it real tight to the sides of buildings, wherever you're going to, and not let it into the open air where it could get smacked or worse.
Donkey.
So as you continue to douse this thing, Hollow Mercury, it is going to continue to look at you. So would you like to take another round to do so?
Sure, yeah. Let's just keep taking a look at it here.
Okay. Make your analyze roll.
I feel this is immediately going to go terribly wrong.
It will also make its roll.
Come on, actual successes. Hey, I got 3 that time.
Okay.
Oh.
So what you are facing is a barrier ice program. This node is a slave node that controls what seems to be the virtual tour of the building. It seems to want to receive, like, it looks like you could hand this barrier ice either once and a confirmed appointment in order to bypass, or an employee code in order to permit you access as if you worked here. Right, so you're either someone who works for Orion, who needs access to scheduling information or maintenance information or any of the things that have to do with managing the property, right, like the property and management piece. Otherwise, it treats you as a guest who is looking to either get a tour, make an appointment, or inquire in general, right? Because it knows a lot about Orion, the company itself. It could probably go on and on and on about when it was founded and how it, started as a lowly real estate operation that slowly built itself up by repurposing buildings in the Redmond Barrens and eventually moving into Everett, where it got picked up by and subsidized by one of the local corporations over the last 10 years, et cetera, et cetera. These are the things that it can tell you. Yes.
So I guess for what it's expecting for an appointment, I feel the easiest approach might be try to forge that sort of information. Be like, hi, I totally have a confirmed appointment to go into or mysteriously the 67th floor virtually.
Well, so the other thing that you know about this program is that it is a gray intrusion countermeasure that is running a tar baby. Which is kind of a nasty virtual trap. So you know that if this program is attacked or if you attempt to fool it, it will crash and it will take your utility with it.
That is pretty obnoxious, but it's not my attack. For not to lose stuff, but I mean, seeing what information we can gather, we're in a rush. Should give it a shot.
What is your plan? Would you like to do to this?
Let's try to fool it. This should definitely give me a virtual tour of the 67th floor.
Okay, so
and all of the information and security protocols that I want.
So are you going to attempt to get a because you're kind of 2 pathways, right? Like if you want to take the employee route, then that's one kind of test. If you want to get the virtual tour, that's a confirmation of an appointment. And those have 2 different thresholds. So which one of these are you going for?
I'm probably at different levels of access. I feel the safer bet's probably the appointment. So screw it. You know what? Let's rethink this and pretend to be an employee.
Okay.
Try to get an idea for what information it's expecting for an employee ID and attempt to transmit that.
All right. So we are going to do a little bit of hackery
I'm going
here.
to explode.
So this is you would have to run sleaze. And sleazing allows you to try to bypass access, barrier, gray or black eyes without leaving tracks. Now, at this point, based on its perception roll, the reason that you start picking up the tar baby is because it looks like the ice has been activated, which means that sleazing it will probably not work because it is aware of the fact that you are accessing it now, that you've been running utilities against it. So it's watching you. It hasn't taken action, but it is activated.
Yeah, it's about ready to do so.
It hasn't. No alerts have gone out on the system though.
Maybe we should pause for a moment and check in with the rest of the team to see what they think. Can I use that vid screen to pop up a little text bubble that says, "Hey, this is pretty dicey already. Good odds an alarm's going to go off, but I might get some good information. Do you think that's worth it?"
It's just the hit your jack in the vid screen. There's no way to type messages to her, right?
No, there's an actual keypad on the deck. Yeah.
I would say we need employee access so we can access the building without having to go through the visitor center.
That does make sense. Well, one good way to test if the forgery works. Let's start a fake employee access.
Okay.
We're going to explode.
Remember, you got edge.
It's true.
I'm going to need it.
All right. So we are going to do some hackery, and this will be deception. So this will be blah blah masking. So you're going to have to make a masking plus hacking test with the security node of the node. With the security rating of the node is the threshold. Success means that your persona would be successfully hidden, right? But this is contested. So you're going to roll again the dex masking plus your hacking. This is you busting out your ID and being like, "Hey, look what I got."
Yeah, totally.
Right.
I totally do not see masking on the dex list unless I'm bad at reading.
Masking should be a stat. Let me double check.
NPCP?
No. Second, I'll get it for you.
Yeah. It's got NPCP 5, hard form M5, IF4, storage 200, chip burner program. Yeah, I don't see a stat for masking on it.
Should have a masking utility. Give me just a second. I'll double check. I might have
No
just not put
worries.
it in there.
That window totally crushed.
Oh shit.
Oh no, we're in the Matrix already. Oh no.
Sorry about that. Notepad++ decided to chose violence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's my masking, not defense. Masking. Apologize, give me just a second. Oh, it's under deception. So it should be
Okay,
deception.
awesome.
Yeah. Masking is the utility kind of category. So in this case,
So then
deception.
2.
Deception plus hacking. Would you like to spend
plus
edge?
hacking. Oh yeah, probably.
Okay.
So hacking, I'm just doing hack. I'm not adding logic to this, right? I'm just adding pure hacking.
It would be hacking plus the deception utility.
Yeah, okay. That's a total of 4.
Plus
I
edge.
think, if I'm remembering this correctly. Plus edge, yeah. Wait, what does plus edge do? I've only used that for a reroll before.
It adds, so if you spend it before the roll, right? If you lock it in before the roll, it adds your edge rating to the roll and allows your 6s to explode.
Ooh.
It also
That's
removes
pretty
the
fancy. My
limit.
edge rating is 1. Let's do that. Come on. Big money, no whammies. Well, I got a 6, which will explode.
Yeah, re-roll that 6.
1d6. Odds of 4. Okay.
All right,
Wow.
you begin attempting to access this program. It is going
Not
to
the world's greatest hacker.
make its roll. You present it with identification. Two things happen. It looks at the identification, looks at your icon, looks at the identification, looks at your icon. It says, please hold for verification. You detect.
That's not good.
You detect an alert go out from the node. Not sure where it goes, but definitely an alert goes out from the node. The program continues to kind of sit there looking at you. Now, as a hackery, you know that you have a couple options here.
She knows what a computer is.
If you want to, well, you mean you have the hacking skill, right? Like
technically.
So, this is something that you would know. If an ICE issues an alert, there's an amount of time. There's like a window of time that you have to deal with it. But you only have a couple of options to keep this alert from going any further. And that's either crash the utility, crash the node, or destroy this program. Like engage it in cyber combat.
Right. None of them seem super likely to. Also, this isn't like the super most private space. It's like a lobby on this node, isn't it?
It is.
That's not super private.
But every system has a door.
Well, I guess let's try it. Let's see. How do I feel about cyber combat?
Well, this deck is built to do quite a few things.
It does have a lot more attack than it has deception, and that does feel on brand with Conan the deck Barry in here. So let's try to ruin this thing's day and digital life.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll initiative.
Oh.
Now you are.
Hey, I have an important question for you. Yes. Does combat paralysis apply in Matrix combat?
Why don't you tell me what combat paralysis does? And yes, it does.
So, combat paralysis. A character with combat paralysis, which includes Hollow Mercury, freezes in combat. On the character's first initiative test, they divide their initiative score in half, round it up. On subsequent turns, they can do their normal initiative.
Okay. So,
and there's some surprise test stuff there too.
Right. So your initiative for this is going to be the response of the deck. So the response increases +2, and your initiative. Where's my?
I haven't rolled a lot of initiatives, so I don't remember what that is on. I'm looking at the Trummer version now too.
Yeah, what does it read as your Matrix initiative on that sheet?
Let me grab the character sheet instead. That's probably an easier spot to look. Matrix rigor initiative. So we got initiative, Asshole initiative, Matrix, and then Matrix AR, and then hot and cold.
So you're always hot in 2050.
Cool.
Unless you're on a cyber
So then
terminal.
it's 1 plus DP plus 4d6.
Plus DP? What it says?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. So in this case,
maybe it's deck. That might be deck. I guess points. I don't know. That doesn't quite make sense to me. But it would be including the response, right? So I guess that'd be that +2.
Right.
So we do 1 plus 2 plus 46, right?
Yeah, then divide it by 2 for the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 plus 4d6.
Storyteller.
Yes, what's up?
We had someone redeem a Hand of Fate live here.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. Is it good?
It's positive.
Oh, really? Who's it for?
They have to tell us.
Yes, they'll have to tell you.
Well, no, this is a Twitch.
Anxious bunny noises.
All right, well, we'll definitely get that.
I can assume if it's positive for the only person in dice adjudication, it would be for Hollow Mercury.
I mean, we'll find out what happens. If the whole building explodes in the Matrix, the whole building explodes in the I'm here for it. You know what? Consequences are fine.
So it goes on 15.
Cool. I go on 7 this round. Hey, I rolled a 14 though. Next round will be pretty good, you know.
Next one will be very good. So
Yeah.
you have to begin loading your utilities. This is something to bear in mind next time. We have to make sure that we understand which programs you have loaded so that we know what you have to spend time swapping out, because there's only a certain amount of memory on the deck in which your programs can be activated. I'm assuming you're not trying to deceive anymore, so I would assume that you dumped that out of memory as you loaded up the attack program that you're preparing to use to slam this thing. It will take its initiative to continue with its active alert and checking your credentials. So that
That's
is
good.
on.
I was totally muted that whole time. I put little X's next to programs to try to mark them as loaded. I assume M5 means I can have 5 programs loaded.
5 points of programs.
A point. Oh, I gotta look up points then. Okay, never
Well,
mind.
it's based on rating, right? So you
Right.
load
Okay.
programs
So for
at
example,
fixed rating.
attack 5 is that I can only have the one
That's-
attack loaded.
That's what it means, yeah.
That's really funny. Let's load that then.
Okay.
Okay. So that is for Holly Mercury.
Okay. So it
It's just funny
spends
noises.
X action on 14, or 15 anyway, to continue sending out its alert. On 7, it is your action.
I would love to hit it in the face with a virtual battle axe.
All right, let's talk about how to attack. I'm pretty sure it's cyber combat plus the attack program. I think it's really that easy.
I think that's right too. I've done cyber combat once before in 5e Shadowrun, but this was not recently.
Oh, and for future reference, for initiative, we will be using intuition plus NPCP rating plus the response increase. So that's
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Interesting. Well, as it would seem,
Imagine rolling 7 dice, no successes. What is Mercury's luck today?
so
Oh no.
you load up and pull back with the battle axe. You realize that you don't have a lot of control over how the persona's attacks work. So when you bring the axe back to swing, there's almost like a pause in the network as the barbarian begins a battle chant that seems to kind of echo throughout the node. When you hold the axe aloft, somewhere from somehow, lightning strikes it. You don't know where the lightning comes from. It seems to light you and the node kind of up quite a bit. There's a bunch of static feedback that comes in through the vid screen as well. There's like a little short and a jot as you get a little bit of and you smash into this thing with the battle axe. And
Have
this
power.
and this poor lobby management ice screams in a way that only a program can scream, and kind of that squealy digital whine as between you and destiny, this thing's atomized. And the alert seems to kind of trail off into the nothingness. The vid screen comes back on. You hear victory music playing. It's like trumpets blaring. And the orc icon spins its axe a few times and straps it onto its back. You see behind the program that was there is an employee door that you did not see before.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay. You enter the next node. The rest of you doing anything while this is happening?
I'm going to finish my coffee
Okay.
and watch as Hollow Mercury unexpectedly begins to just destroy things.
For our viewers out there, for those of you who are happy to dispense Hands of Fate, these are the types of things you can make happen, okay? 7. That was a glorious glitch that you helped turn around. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, and the reminder of how powerful Hands of Fate can be, and Mercury's barbaric sashaying into the employee door, we'll take our first ad break and our first break of the day. So those of you who are subscribed aren't going to see the ad, but you are going to see the waiting screen because we're going to take a moment for ourselves. Are we okay over there, Mike?
Catch you on the other
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
We're good.
All right. We'll see you back in a few minutes. And we're back. Back just in time for the most glorious cyber combat victory to date by one Hollow Mercury. Did you have anything you wanted to add about your big win?
I was gonna say, I think that's the only cyber combat victory Hollow Mercury has ever had, and she got it by. And we should clarify how powerful this hand of fate was. She rolled 7 dice, not a terrible pool. 3 of those dice landed on ones. None of the others landed on a success. That was about to be an absolute nightmare.
I was personally looking
But
forward to
she'll
the
take
glitch.
it. You know, she's clearly a big damn hero. She's the most skilled hacker in the universe. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
All right. So,
We just see more of this Hands of Fate any other time she enters the Matrix.
this is how Hollow Mercury wins. This is how Hollow Mercury wins the game. Hey, Peta wins the thing. We're down. So you enter the system access node. The SAN itself, the construct itself, allows you entry into the first sub-processing unit of the system. This sub-processing unit seems to act as kind of the matrix traffic cops of the system. They determine what's coming in, what needs to go where. And as you approach, you see a security guard in a gray uniform. Are you attempting to enter this node unnoticed?
That seems like the easiest approach. Yeah, let's be a stealthy barbarian.
Okay, so you will have to
Barbarian.
unload your attack program and begin sleazing your way through.
Mm-hmm.
So as you attempt to enter the node unnoticed, we will allow you to make a sleaze plus hacking test, as this ice is not aware of you. However,
1.
You slide into the node. Now, from this SAN, you can see that it accesses a few places, and it seems like this security guard would be the one to tell you where to go. So you see 3 connections from this SPU. You see it connect to another SPU. You don't know what the purpose of it is necessarily. There is a data store as well nearby that seems to be like building information. And then there is another access point. There's also an I/O port here that seems to go to some sort of device, but you would have to try to figure out what those things are, like where they connect to. So you have an I/O port to a device. You have a data store, and you also have another SPU off in the distance that seems to manage a few other things. So where would you like to go?
Let's head to the data store first, just to get a little bit of lay of the land info ahead of time. I mean, ideally, we can eventually make some employee IDs or something. But for the moment, let's learn what we can in case we are about to get kicked off the Matrix.
All right, you enter the data store. In this case, the data store appears to be primarily a repository for. This looks like the appointment log, like the tour log. This looks like where all the information comes in regarding people who are making appointments, those who are scheduling appointments, those who have appointments, those who have had appointments, and the outcomes of those appointments. That's what this data store appears to be providing.
I mean, I think we should abscond with that data just in case it's useful.
So are you trying to copy it, or are you just going to go through it? What is your plan there?
Let's take a quick copy so we can move on. We can go through it later. In case it's like, we need to find out who was here last night because they stole the paper book.
So what you'll have to do, actually, you'll have to browse for the contents that you're looking for specifically.
Yeah, okay.
So this will be a data search test plus browse. Browse is a utility. And I guess as far as what type of data you're trying to get, can you give me some specifics?
I mean, I guess data relevant to that floor.
To the 67th floor specifically? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so give me a browse.
Like any
list.
appointments there, that kind of thing. So data search is not a skill on my sheet, unfortunately.
I think it will just fall under And fifth ed, double check something for you. They have to kind of bounce back and forth.
Yeah, I know, because we're sort of doing 4.5 ed, really.
Kind of. We'll be okay though. In this case, it is going to
Computer
be.
might encompass it. I don't know.
Just a second, I'll get you. Yeah, computer plus browse.
Okay, round. Computer actually have a few points in, and browse on this deck is phenomenal. So come on, and not all ones for a change. 2 on non-dice. I'm amazing at rolling dice.
All right. You pull down quite a bit of. You pull down a few things for that floor. One, you easily confirm that it is basically off the books as far as appointments go. Tours are not provided of the space for the purposes of rentals. That entire floor seems occupied and spoken for by the Golden Scale Academy. The agent who manages the contract with that floor is on site today. They are currently giving a tour of, well, they have a couple of tours scheduled today for floors below it throughout the structure. It seems that this agent in particular, who goes by the name Maria Munson, is a busy little bee this morning. You also notice that there are no maintenance requests or any, because for other floors you're kind of flipping through and you're seeing like maintenance requests have come down for air conditioning, HVAC, electric, like a bunch of things get passed through this node and seem to get shuffled off elsewhere. You don't see any of those coming down from the 67th floor.
Yeah, so I guess they're on some kind of an isolated system. Maria Munson, though, probably has some good level of access and could be a fun employee to both steal the idea of and impersonate.
You are relatively sure that information is not here, though. This is not where the business.
Oh, certainly
users,
not, but we could probably try to find it later.
Okay.
It's a good name to note in her cool brain hat.
So you abscond with that data. What's your next move?
From here, does it seem like there's any more information that she is likely to find connected to this node that would help her either, get employee information for someone like Maria Munson, or any other information about that isolated floor?
You see her signature is on a few things here, as far as digital and otherwise.
Let's steal an image of that.
I think. Well, you already have it, so these are just you have copies of documents that she signed off on involving appointments and confirmations. You have a pretty reasonable idea as to what the appointments look like and how the confirmation numbers are. If you wanted to generate a fake one, you probably could. That would be an edit action if you wanted. So if you wanted to create an appointment, for example, you would have to do an edit action here, and you could, create one. That is something that you could do in this area.
I mean, actually, trying to figure out a way that this makes sense with what we have access to, right? Like, we make an appointment for someone to meet her. It feels unlikely that it would work well for getting information on that floor, but that she might have an employee ID and access on her. And that could be an easy thing to steal from her mid-appointment. So let's do it.
Okay, so you're gonna give me an edit action.
Sounds good.
This will be computer edit. I believe edit is utility, right?
I've got decrypt and encrypt, evaluate deception, please. I don't think I got edit on this end.
No. Bouncing around a little bit here.
It could just mean it's not on the deck.
Nice. Yep, then it'll be computer. It'll be a computer, intuition computer, a logic computer for you. Sorry.
Okay, sweet. Or logic, or
Okay, 5 successes.
oh my goodness.
So what I want to know,
Where was this dice roll at any time before now?
5 successes is quite a bit.
5 successes.
It's amazing what you can do
I
with an
think
appointment book.
my cap 6 on it, I think.
What is your logic?
Yeah. I think the meta type limit. Yeah, we're good. I want to make sure it wasn't 4 or something.
So what I need to know from you is I know who the appointment's with, so you're scheduling it with Maria. Are you going to attempt to interdict one of her existing appointments, or are you going to create a new one?
I mean, creating a new one might put her off her game a little bit and cause some more chaos. So let's create a new appointment in like a little open block of time between 2 of them, just to cause a bit of a scheduling nightmare for her.
So the first opening you find during the day is her lunch hour.
That sounds great. We should interrupt her lunch hour. Should do a totally open to a lunch appointment. Here's a restaurant across the street.
Okay. Who was the appointment?
It's a scary van.
Who was the appointment for?
Fakey McName name. No, let's come up with a fake name. Let's see. Rusty Saint. That's a name.
Rusty Saint, indeed.
Mhm.
And what company?
Rusty Saint McGee.
Rusty Saint McGee.
Got cowboy vibes on it. It's not her fault at all.
So what company does Rusty Saint McGee represent the interests of?
Definitely some subsidiary of like Ren Raccoon.
Okay. Does that subsidiary have a name?
Subsidiary, make subsidiary face.
Subsidiary face.
Let's see. I mean, we had I guess we had Ianake Court before. That could be a fun one to use for annoying notes. But the big worry, of course, is that someone's going to take a look at that appointment log. So let's not quite do that one.
You also are aware that Anenki got blown up. Like the Anenki corporation got physically exploded.
Just like Shipping and Receiving Logistics Incorporated. The most generic corporate name ever.
And which floor is this going to be in regards to renting the space of? So of the ones that are reasonable, given your access, you can see that there are vacancies on the 15th, the 38th, the 66th, and the 69th.
I mean, that's a pretty good number.
And the
Let's go for that one.
And the 69th.
I mean, that's nice. But there's like a floor in the way there.
So which one?
Let's do 66.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, no, you know what? Rusty's nodding dramatically in my general direction in Mercury's heart. We're doing the 69th floor. Of course we are.
All right. Nice.
If you're going to use my name, I think we should at least...
I'm using all of your, well, 2 of your names and 1 of your vibes.
You receive your confirmation number, and the whatever automated agent is in there that handles Miss Munson's appointments gives you the virtual nod, and everything seems confirmed.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to this appointment.
You receive a confirmation message.
Great.
The instructions provided are that Miss Munson will meet you in the lobby at the appointed time, at which point you will be escorted to the elevator, which will take you up to the 69th floor, during which you are free to ask Ms. Munson any questions regarding policy, procedure, availability of space, pricing, etc.
Awesome. Sounds great to me. Let's hope that the other members of the team have found something interesting and are cool with suddenly putting on a cool persona of all of themselves. Don't worry about it.
It does seem to want to be provided with contact information so that it can send you important promotional offers or
Oh, of course. We're gonna do one of those fake, like those burner contact information things, like the email address .emailaddressseason.phase.
Gotcha.
I think that'll work, but it's like,
Is it rusty.saint.mcgee at subsidiary of Renraku shipping
it absolutely is.
Logistics
Yes.
Incorporated.com. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
You finish editing the logbook, and as you shut it, you hear what you think is a fire alarm in the distance.
Does it seem like it's a fire alarm in the building? Like the building is on fire, or like it's some kind of a security alarm going off?
It sounds like the alert has finally managed to get where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Okay. Would you make me another sleaze roll, please?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Dun, dun, dun. Sleaze snacking. Don't screw up. I only have 5 days on this one, which is still like a lot of dice theoretically, but you know. Hey, I got to woo. Uh-oh.
As you are sliding out into the SPU and you're moving your way back toward the door, you're basically leaving the access port, right? The security guard the one you walk past doesn't seem to notice you, and it's as you go back into the lobby, behind you as you're leaving the system, you hear, "Hey, you there!" As you leave,
It's going to keep leaving.
and now I need you to roll major perception for me.
Sure, sounds good. Fixed perception.
Yeah, intuition plus NPCP.
CP plus intuition. Gotta look in so many spots for this. That is so many dice. Three.
The trace program is started.
Ah, dang it.
So
Well, I guess we'd better.
I'm going to need you to run.
Yeah.
So if you want to avoid the trace, it's going to make its tracing test against your ability to either deceive it or reroute it.
Let's try rerouting it.
Okay. I like your
It
style.
happened. Yeah. Let's throw it somewhere else.
I'm typing away the keyboard beside her. Check out, check out, check out, check out.
So this is redirect trace. This is an opposed hacking plus relocate versus the tracking ISIS security rating. I'm guessing you don't have relocate, so you can attempt to do this on the fly.
I mean, I guess you could just pull the plug.
Well, you could try. That's a willpower test for you.
Yeah, but yeah, all right, let's do this on the fly then. Okay. We're gonna point it to that bar, not the cool bar that used to live above, the other one. Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good direction to point it.
Okay. So the first thing I need you to do is see what kind of relocate program you can spin up on the fly. So what you're doing is basically creating a utility that you don't have. So you're going to make
100%
logic plus software roll for me, please.
That I've actually got a little bit of.
And what rating are you going for here?
I mean, 3. Let's make it vaguely good on the flyer. She's pretty good at logic and software.
So this creates the threshold
hacking
for you. Yes, go ahead. No, this is
it's
software.
8 dice. Let's try. Yeah. Uh-oh, that's 1.
You begin the redirect. It begins tracking. That's round 1.
Oh no. Oh no.
So go ahead and make another programming on the fly roll.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you finish the utility.
4.
I'm going to attempt to trace you again.
Oh gosh.
The trace locks. This is your last chance to redirect. So what I need you to do is make me this is going to be a hacking plus your new relocate utilities rating against its security rating.
Which is probably a lot higher than this, but at least it's not like a pool of 3 if this was like a 1-point program. Okay. Well, 3 successes.
You all watch as a hound begins chasing this orc through the matrix, nipping at its heels. As bait is continually, like, as the orc is running, it reaches into its little satchel and pulls out like a sack of meat and some twine and pins and starts attaching things to mutton, like winding up this bait pod. And as it is like, you can watch the screen, you see the orc running back to the neighborhood node. And just as they're about to enter the local node, the bait gets pitched somewhere. You don't see it. You don't see where it lands. You just watch it go, and you see the dog stop in its tracks and begin sniffing in a circle, and then it darts off in another direction. You land in the house node. At this point, I'm guessing you're going to gracefully log off.
Disconnect.
You gracefully log off. You come back to a body covered in sweat, with your heart palpitations just kind of palpitating.
That looks pretty intense.
It shouldn't have been, but it sure was. We have an appointment with someone who has access to that floor, most likely to some degree.
Okay.
Your name is Rusty St. McGee. You're her lunchtime. Here's her info.
So it is, by the way.
Or I'm Rusty, whichever of us who works, it doesn't matter to me.
It is 0900 right now. Your appointment is in 3 hours.
I think it's both of us. I think you're Rusty Saint and I'm McGee.
Oh, that does check out. Aw, Cowboy was McGee in my heart. Oh, well.
It's not Rusty St. Anne McGee.
We're the executive branch of Logistics Movement and Boxes Incorporated.
I wonder how they're making out on Recon.
How are we making
Yeah, I was about to
recon?
say.
So that's a very good question. What sort of recon are you doing?
I was thinking of doing like a slow drive by downtown by the building. That way we keep moving and keep going. That way I'm not parking anywhere.
So here's the downside to that. You can do a slow drive by a good block away from the building, and you can see the building. Right, because you have to either park off-site and then walk into the corporate park that the foot traffic is. That's pretty much your access, unless you do something else.
I think we should get out and go walk around.
Sure. Doesn't parking cost something? You got money, Cowboy?
Parking in downtown
Of course.
at 9 o'clock in the morning on a business day.
Yeah.
It's gonna start at 50 Nuyen for the first hour.
I mean, we won't be there more than an hour, I don't think. We want to make this quick, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, we shall certainly do that, and I'll take what's the littlest drone that I got? It's a little thing that doesn't need a long landing strip. I'm pretty sure it's a spotter. No, surveillance. My surveillance drone.
How are you going to carry it around?
I'm just gonna have like a little backpack. I look like a little schoolgirl.
How big is it?
I don't know.
Let's find
What number am I looking at? I got sensors, arms, body's.
What's its
speed.
body?
I mean, its body's 3.
Okay, so it's about the size of your torso.
I got a small torso, so. All right, I got you. What's up, Cowboy?
I'm just saying it's kind of difficult to conceal. Like, you'd have to carry it in a massive case.
Okay. That doesn't look weird at all during business hours. Okay, yeah, I'm totally down to go on foot. Without anything.
Okay.
I show Rusty my smoke grenades that I'm bringing with and put them in my coat.
I encourage this behavior.
In case we need a duck and cover.
Or in case not. It's whichever. I enjoy your personality, and I think you should certainly shine at any moment you choose you need to shine with these smoke grenades.
Well, the Downtown Constellation Business Park is very pretty and very busy at this hour. There are footbound commuters speed walking to and from many different places right now. You are being afforded little to no courtesy as they make their entitled way into buildings around you. As you approach the skyscraper that in question, anyway, it is the tallest one in this particular business park by a good 20 stories. It's centralized. There's a fountain in front of it, and the park area seems to kind of grow out of the front end of this building to the rest of the other kind of outer laying buildings. The walkways and paths are very, very pretty. You don't see foot security guards. You see a couple of drones moving around on the grass that in a lot of ways are decorated in a way to be more part of the scenery than to look, like military security drones. If they are armed, you don't see any obvious armaments. They just kind of appear to be booping and bopping and moving around.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that looks like a planter.
Oh, so well, that looks like a layup because I still owe Mercury a layup.
No lamps.
Okay. But I guess I wouldn't mind sort of getting like the 411 out of like where the entrances and exits are.
Okay, give me a perception test, please.
Oh, crud.
Meanwhile, what is Cowboy doing?
I don't have perception, so
Taking
Cowboy.
stock of any security around the building,
Intuition.
if any.
So perception for you as well. Intuition, perception, please.
Two.
Okay. So between the two of you, a couple of things become obvious. The park itself doesn't seem to be heavily secured. You pretty much free access to walk into most of the buildings here. There is one building a ways away, like on the southeast side of the quad, that has like obvious security front doors, where it looks like there's a bit of a screening process for people that are going in there, but you also don't see many people going in and out of that building. Most people you are seeing are dressed in either business wear or like lab coats. The ones walking in and out of the Orion skyscraper are varied, right? It looks like it's kind of a mixed bag. You see people that could be serving as clerks. You see executive-looking types. Broad areas of the economic spectrum of footwear and suits, and some business casual wear. You also see maintenance personnel. They are not taking the front entrances. It looks like most of these buildings have an entire subset of what look to be like utility and maintenance entrances that go around the main part of like the park itself. So outside of the main walkways, there seem to be smaller paths that are carefully carved out amidst the park land so as not to be intrusive, where it looks like you see people moving garbage around, people moving boxes around. It also looks like there is a separate traffic area here that comes from an underground part of this business park, where you see that some of the larger trucks and shipping seems to be being done. And you catch this because at this hour you see a lot of things getting moved around. The business day has begun in earnest.
Are there any business names at the side of those trucks?
Oh, there's quite a few. I mean, it's a motley of all sorts of business furniture stores. Some people are probably restocking their cafeterias. You see that there are food trucks. Well, not food trucks, but like frozen food vendors. Most of the area in this seems to be supplied by the same two companies. Stuffer Shack does a lot of shipping here. Like a lot of the Vendomatics seem to be provided by Stuffer Shack. Otherwise, again, it's kind of a mixed bag. Is there anything specifically you're looking for?
No, I was just looking for a name.
Okay.
That's all. Cool. Are we anywhere near like the higher security people that are like at lab coats and stuff? Kind of casually, like, city walk by them and glance at their like ID badge just to see like what departments they got going on in there.
So the people with the lab coats seem to be going into a building called. What's that name? Check. Give me a second. Well, yes, it is called a Manticore Engineering. It looks like most of the people that are going in here are engineers or physicists, perhaps. You see a couple of people in suits who you assume are maybe project manager types.
That's cool.
Do you see there were like docking bays or something in the building?
It appears that most of the shipping seems to come from there, so that the receiving bays are above ground, but it looks like the traffic comes from below ground. So there's like a ramp that goes up to the back end of these buildings where the shipping and receiving is done. And then looks like, because there's no immediate access to them otherwise. Like there's no road access to these buildings.
But if we go below ground, we might be able to get access.
It looks like they're all connected by the same set of, utility shafts, and the underground bullet trains that connect the office parks to shopping centers and whatnot are pretty well known.
And since I've watched one too many action/heist movies, is there any trucks sitting around that just, randomly there that might be unlocked with extra uniforms in them?
So I'm going to make me a perception test.
Okay.
No,
It's 0.
it appears that all of the idiots called in sick today.
Shame.
Or at least as far as you can tell. Any other questions from Recon?
I'm
don't
trying to
think
figure
so.
out a way to use her smoke grenades before we leave.
Toss it down. Oh, we need to save those.
Yeah, I don't wanna stir up the crowd right now.
We only have so many.
Yeah. And I'm not really feeling that comfortable flying my drone, even if we go back to the car and I fly it in. I don't know, that just seems, I just don't want to end this before it starts. I feel like I've brought too much trouble to the group already, so I was doing this on foot was a good idea. Do people want to try and make friends with somebody, like just randomly, like rub elbows, like socially?
Do I look like I want to make, buddy with people?
That's actually a very good question. What are you all wearing while you're wandering around this business park? I'm just kind of curious how you're dressed.
I got sweatpants on and just like an oversized shirt because
Okay.
that coffee hasn't kicked in.
And Cowboy, what are you, how are you, what are you sporting today?
You know, wearing leather pants and a cowboy hat
Okay.
and my corset.
People seem too busy to stare at you.
You're busy working.
But as you continue to look around, you do spot the occasional, what are referred to as skimmers, small kind of disc-shaped drones that buzz around some of the like parkland trees. You can see them zipping by occasionally in the air.
And what do the skimmers do?
Usually they carry cameras.
Wow. Wow.
Where's your hat, cowboy?
I'm wearing it. All right. Well, we should go.
We should back out slowly. Yes, I agree.
How long are you
Indiscreetly.
going to spend at the park doing recon?
Can't imagine it would be that long. Like maybe
Less than an hour.
Yeah, definitely less than an hour. Maybe around a half hour, even less than that, just because I feel like this should be very quick in and out.
And where are you headed after that?
Ooh, probably back to that house, but like I definitely want to make sure that we're not being followed.
Okay. So are you going to attempt to drive evasively, or are you just going to try to be aware?
Oh, I'm definitely going to drive evasively.
Okay, so why don't you give me a pilot roll? This would be a great time for you to test out your new driving skills.
Hey, yeah. Let's do that.
So
That was a lot of dice. I don't think that was correct.
So the good thing for you is that the morning traffic affects everyone the same way, including someone who might be following you.
Okay.
So you take a few kind of evasive turns as you make your way back toward the house. The problem is the gridlock just continues to get in your way as you try to leave downtown.
Motherfuckers.
But you also have the advantage of, well, nobody's really leaving downtown right now unless people are getting there. So it's only half as bad as awful.
I like that sound.
So between the hours of 0900 and basically 1000, Rusty and Cowboy head toward the business park, do a bit of recon. Meanwhile, at the house, what does that hour look like for you? Hala Mercury's incursion into the lobby doesn't take the better part of an hour, maybe like a half hour total. So what are you all doing in the interim while you wait for recon to come back?
I think we need to prepare the face.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a shower and get dressed.
Okay.
And then do you have business clothes you can put on to do business?
Always.
Fantastic. I go change.
All right. So right around 10 o'clock, as you all are coming out of your various grooming stations, you don't hear the car pull up. You hear the door shut.
Okay. I go get a visual on the front door.
It's Cowboy and Rusty.
How'd it go?
A lot of fun.
You're not bleeding, so I assume everything is safe.
Yes. They have a lot of cameras.
Skippers. And they have some like ground support things skidding around. There was a plant. Yee.
Ground support things.
Drones.
Okay.
But there's also underground ways too, like where the train goes and like where these supply trucks go. They've got they get supplies mostly from Stuffer Shack.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so if we want to get that close, I could potentially try and grab a truck, get us underground. That way we have a vehicle to escape.
Mercury secured a tour of the 69th floor.
Gonna yell from the shower. Pretty nice, if I say so.
Dang, Mercury, be skilled. I like this.
Not at all. It was a mess.
The tour is going to have to be our incursion method. So whatever plan we might have will need to be hatched while we're on that tour. Which means someone will have to keep the tour guide busy, potentially deal with any additional subjects who are on the tour. Those could be drones, those could be physical security. It all depends.
So what do
So
you
how many
mean?
people are they expecting for this tour?
They're expecting a business to show up. Businesses have a lot of people. And so,
I
Yes,
look
well,
down at what I'm
appear
wearing.
toweled.
yeah, you're going to need a change, cowboy. No hat.
So this person, in theory, may have some level of access to the floor we're looking for. So maybe the real clever play here is to find a way to copy or clone that access during the meeting and then to go make use of it while someone, probably me, is very distracting. I can ask a lot of business questions. A
You
lot
can.
of
We're going
business
to need
questions.
we're going to need to find a way to potentially make that happen without there being a body left over. We
I don't
can't
want
just
to.
walk in and shoot a tour guide just so everybody's aware.
Well, yeah.
I know you say that, but I'm just reinforcing it here. Shooting the tour guide is not an option. Even a narcojet round would be problematic, even if they passed out. I could see it as a last option, but just understand that it's going to be a pretty dicey situation.
Mhm.
But who doesn't love a good adrenaline boost, right?
Is there a plan B in terms of distracting security or the tour guide? Like setting off security on a particular floor or something, or I don't know, setting an alarm somewhere else outside the building.
I'm not sure how we would accomplish it, Rusty. We'd have to have access to the matrix, the system itself that runs the building. And that would be dangerous. Not impossible, but just dangerous. And then setting a distraction, a fire or something like that somewhere else is only going to draw more attention. We want to draw less attention. We want to have a tour of the building and have it be simple, innocuous, and then do what
Yeah,
we need
just
to
one of
do.
you goes to the washroom for a while and happens to do a little B&E. Breaking and entering.
Oh, I thought that was like bathing and like facial stuff for some reason. Okay, gotcha.
You know, I can take her on like a spa day. She's only got a lunch hour, but like, I don't know, maybe she's a spa girly. I could be a spa girly. I could use a spa day.
If you believe that you could convince her to leave or to go show you another portion of the building while we have access to the 69th floor,
The building must have some sort of luxury accoutrements, right?
yes, there's probably a cafe or a pool or a garden,
And someone needs to
something.
tour them.
Well, hack us access to the 67th floor or get us access while we're there and go play in whatever garden you like.
I think Mercury is going to spend the intervening time like making a vaguely convincing like portfolio instead of identification for someone named like, I don't know, Eloise Saint. Just to just to have like a person to be with, like, you know, a LinkedIn equivalent, et cetera, et cetera.
So you're going to try to create a fake identity in an hour.
Not a good one,
Oh,
but one that's
okay.
like, if you're not looking in depth on it, it's like, you know, like if you Google the name pops up. It's not out of nowhere.
But just so that once again, we're gonna just for clarity's sake, remember, this is the Matrix in 2054. There is no Google. Not only that,
Oh yeah,
there
that's
is
a good
no
point.
there is no casual browsing for information. If you want information for literally anything, you have to
Just need
decide
a
where you're
business
going to
card.
go get it. You also have to decide what you want to know from them. And most places don't do it for free. This is the Matrix as it
Yeah.
stands. So that's not to say you can't do the thing. What I'm asking you is, do you expect them to, if you were to create an identity for yourself, what you'll likely want to do is have some sort of system representing whatever this company is,
Yeah.
because that would be your first step toward legitimacy.
That makes sense. Maybe some like really basic like answering machine level program.
Oh yeah,
that
purchasing a
can be
node.
contacted.
Purchasing a node in LTG just costs money.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's purchase a node with an answering machine for that name that says Eloise Saint cannot come to the node right now.
So how effective do you want this forgery to be? Because basically the pricing for fake nodes is kind of the same thing as getting a fake sin. If you want it to be believable, you would have to pay accordingly. So basically, it's versus a rating. And I believe
Well, how expensive is vaguely believable?
it's based on rating. So rating generally goes 1 through, we'll say 6 for the purposes of this particular exercise, because I don't know that you would be able to, like, you don't have CIA people at your disposal currently.
No.
So let's see. Fake sin should be under gear, right? Equipment.
Oh, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting one on super short notice seems wild. I don't know if it needs to be the full ID, but
Well, luckily for you,
at least enough for there to be like a business card she can hand off with a number that works.
Well, you also have contacts that can expedite this process.
That's true. Real good odds some of those contacts could help. In fact, those contacts could even be the answering machine. Probably not sugar. They shouldn't be any kind of an answering machine. But Vega, the fence, might be useful on this stuff.
Vega the Fence sounds like an excellent attempt at handling this. Why don't you, so just to save us a bit of time, why don't you go ahead and roll your negotiation plus the loyalty of the contact, and then we'll handle the the chat that you're gonna have to have. How do you find the listing for the fake sin?
Loyalty.
For some reason, I can't seem to find it.
Well, I got 2 successes on negotiation and loyalty.
Okay. Last time I remember, fake sins were rating times 10,000. I don't remember what the availability is, but they're pretty pricey.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, we have like several thousand at this point. You could use a fake sim anyways.
Reach out. Morning business. This ought to be good.
Good morning. I'm in the market for an extremely convincing and a quick look sin.
All right. Who are we giving birth to? Who's ready to enter the world?
I feel really weird using your name, Saint, but Eloise Saint, nice to meet you.
Eloise. Oh man.
I used it just on a whim because I was being silly, and now I'm stuck with it forever.
You know, I knew an Eloise.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah, she's dead now.
Does she have a sin?
She sure did. I'm gonna go ahead and get it for you.
Thanks.
How soon do you need this?
How soon can you get it?
I mean, I could get it in probably 15 minutes, but the question is, do you want to pay the markup on that?
And what's the markup on 15 minutes?
Well, based on your negotiation roll. Look, I can get you something. I can get you something that'll pass a glance, cursory look for 10K on that kind of schedule.
Done.
If you want this thing, but if you want this thing to stand up to any sort of scrutiny for any period of time, it's going to be more in the range of like 20.
Why don't we start with the 10? No, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for 20. I might actually need this.
I like your style.
Well, I like your style. I'm sorry about everything that happened next door. It wasn't even my fault.
Well, luckily for all of us, it's not the only place I keep.
Yeah.
I'll send you the details.
Lesson learned to self here.
I'll send you the details on Eloise. And is there anything I should know about her?
I mean, probably nothing too exciting. Vaguely my, statistics.
Does she have a job?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Okay. So are you going to ask him to get Eloise set up with this now?
Yeah, the
company?
logistics,
Okay.
shipping, and Cargo Management Incorporated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after a bit
You
of
give her
just
like a VP role, not like an amazing role, like the sort of role you give like a nepotism child because she's fully a nepotism child. She's like getting into character here.
all right. So you over the next 15 20 minutes you work out the details of Eloise's rise to power as VP of um, hold on, what's the name of this company? Just wrote it down. Shipping, Receiving, Logistics Incorporated. Surly is the acronym.
Excellent.
um, you get it situated. Graduated top of her class and went on to, become a powerhouse in the shipping and receiving industry. Recently moved to Seattle from the Free States of California, where she cut her teeth on, we'll say, anarcho-capitalism, syndicated distribution before deciding to move to a more regulated state.
Sounds good.
But you've seen the worst of it. Okay. That work is done in relatively short order. Somebody pay $20K out of
I'm doing it right now.
out of a bundle somewhere.
Karma. I definitely just tried to spend 20,000 karma.
Prime runners beware.
Gosh, can you imagine?
I mean, I can. I certainly can. I have pretty vivid imagination. Okay, and so is anything happening in the interim? So that takes probably about 20 minutes to get done, which puts you approaching 40 minutes to the hour, which is when your meeting is.
Yeah, I want to dial up and from the house here
Mhm.
and prepay for parking in a location nearby.
Okay.
And sort of prepare that, and then make sure that Rusty and Cowboy and everybody are fit to walk into an environment where their leather pants won't squeak too much.
So
I
without
don't need anybody to dress me. Gosh.
without a Constellation Park business license, you have to park in one of the above ground structures. So the question is, are you trying to park on the ground floor, in the middle, or up top?
How hard is it to park on the ground floor?
It's not a matter of hard, it's just a matter of pricing. The closer you are to the entrance, the more expensive it is.
That's fine.
Okay. So it's $100 million an hour for ground level parking.
Okay, I'll pay for 4 hours out of a certified cred stick.
Okay. That's not hard.
Not at all.
You get a ticket that gets sent to your LTG.
Nice. Okay, everybody ready?
I think
Yeah.
we're
I'm
also
wearing a
ready.
business suit.
Aren't we ready for a break? Aren't we? The
We're
clock ticking.
We're
I
pretty
think so.
close.
I think so.
Got like 5 minutes.
Okay, I think we should head it off now. So
No? Okay.
while everybody piles into the car and they are headed to the office park to meet with Maria Munson and shovel her a bucket full of
great.
lies and no money, let's go ahead and take a little break. So we will stretch our legs, empty any vessels that need emptying, replace any caffeinated products you're replacing, and we'll be back to see you very soon. Oh my god, welcome back to Shadowrun. We are en route to the location. So for those of you who haven't ridden in the custom Eurocar Westwind as of yet, are in for a very smooth experience. This luxury vehicle pulls no punches in the performance and comfort departments. It seems to receive the ground, as opposed to your butts receiving the ground. As you zip along the highway, heading downtown. You pull into the parking structure and wave your pocket secretary at the scanner that looks for the little barcode that approves your parking. It heads you over to one of the outer rows along the wall closest to the door. So you find yourself maybe 70 meters from the entrance and exit. The gate is a standard kind of gate arm. There is no human at monitoring the parking structure.
Okay. I mean, once we get to our parking spot, after that, it's sort of form into a group and head towards the building.
Right. The walk from the exit is basically what you would expect any number of people do. You kind of join, not the crowd, but the trickle of people that are coming out of the parking structure, venturing into the office park. This place is very meticulously tended. The grass is uniform. The flowers are evenly distributed. The trees are present, though inobtrusive. They provide shade to seating and little else. And a bit of shade along the pathway. The approaching noon sun is baking you, being directly overhead, and it has been a hot weekend. It's been a hot week in general for Seattle. This weekend proves to be no less incendiary. But nonetheless, you all make your way through the business park toward the Orion building, where you see the skyscraper kind of push itself into the forefront of this particular area, with all the outlying buildings all being a little bit smaller, a little bit stouter, a little bit wider. This is kind of the centerpiece of the area.
Okay. Mm.
Big glass doors in front of you.
My expectation is that Mercury will probably lead us in.
Very much the plan.
You roll into the lobby. As you do, you see a very polished and professional-looking businesswoman standing in the lobby with a confident smile. She's kind of gives you a half wave, lots of teeth as she heads in your direction.
We'll smile back.
Welcome.
Mercury's in a real sharp business suit that might be armor plated. Don't worry about it.
Welcome. I'm guessing you must be a Rusty Saint McGee.
Eloise Saint. It's nice to meet you.
Eloise Saint, Maria Munson. I am so thrilled you could make it today. I really do hope that Orion Business Park could be the perfect fit for Shipping Receiving Logistics Incorporated.
I'm hoping so too. The location is phenomenal.
Well, yes, we are talking about prime office space in the heart of downtown Seattle. Space that offers not just functionality, but a competitive edge in your industry. Should we get our tour on the way? Would you like any coffee or snacks? She kind of walks you over to.
You know what? I mean, I think this might be one of those times where we're both kind of on our lunch break working at the same time. Coffee would be amazing.
You realize she looks like, even though she looks very confident, there's a bit of like a tremble to her hands. She walks you over to the snack table where she kind of watches you pick through things, and you watch her watch you as she tries to hide the fact that she is like ravenously shoving things into her face while you're eating, but trying to be mindful of the fact that she wants to not be chewing when she has to talk. So you all start this dance of eating and talking. What are the rest of you doing while this is happening?
I'm probably trying not to make a fool of myself here.
Okay.
So I'm being quiet and I'm looking around. So I will probably be, visually inspecting everything on the floor here that I can get my eyes on.
Okay. So you can give me a perception test. Cowboy, Rusty.
I'm sort of a very similar situation where I just want to keep quiet, not open my mouth, keep my eye on any of the tech, like cameras specifically, and like security stuff.
So 4 successes for Saint. The rest of you that are looking, so Rusty, you can give me a perception test as well. Cowboy, what are you doing?
Well, currently feeling very uncomfortable in the pencil skirt and white blouse that I'm wearing and in business wear and heels because who would want to wear those? I have my hair up in a in a smart bun with a pencil through it and these eyeglasses
Oh,
to
goodness.
make me look smarter, like I'm
Hello.
a librarian. Hello.
Okay. Are you doing anything besides being extremely uncomfortable and
Um,
adjusting constantly?
yeah, I'm kind of like trying not to trip on these heels and so I'm but I'm looking around as well.
All right. So for uh, so Saint, you looking around the main floor, the lobby, you can see a couple of obvious. You see the elevators, you see the stairs. They are relatively close to each other. This place runs 2 elevators that seem to go up and down. Um, you're not really sure if there's another elevator further into the building, but the lobby itself has 2 elevators, and there's one obvious stairwell. Behind what looks like the reception desk, where you see a security guard, like a dressed security guard. Um, they seem to be private security, not Lone Star. Um, Behind them is a door that says security, and then there are bathrooms down here as well, and a lounge. Um, it is near the lounge door where there's a table that's set up that has some coffee, snacks, water. There's like a kind of dewy lemon water dispenser there with small disposable plastic cups. It's sweating all over the table.
Interesting. Okay, so cameras, security guard, likely other security folks behind door.
You see
And
one obvious camera covering the lobby. It would have been watching you as you came in. And there appears to be another camera on the opposite side of the reception desk pointed toward the entrance of the lobby to kind of cover the cross section. So it looks like there's a bit of a. It looks like basically there's one camera watching in the corner, watching the door specifically, and then the camera behind the desk seems to be watching the lobby.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, other than that,
And the bathrooms are down a hallway. So there's a hallway that goes past the lounge a bit.
Good to know.
Rusty, you're a little distracted because when you walk in, your eyes are kind of drawn to one of the cameras. You're very aware of kind of autopilot tendencies when it comes to motion tracking and such. While the lobby watching camera behind the security desk seems relatively static, you know the kind of camera that it is. It has like a 180-degree fisheye view of the entire area. Like there's no blind spots for that camera unless you're behind the desk, behind the security guard. You might be out of range. But the one that's watching the door seems very keen on staring at Cowboy. Like you watch the lens move. You kind of see the iris, dilating. And you notice every time Cowboy seems to kind of shift around in the lobby, the camera seems to track her movements.
I'm gonna go near Cowboy and like pretend like I'm blowing my nose, and then tell her the camera over there is watching you.
Oh dear.
Meanwhile, at the lunch table, so our location is pretty unbeatable. You're only minutes away from the major transportation hubs, which are crucial for a logistics company like yours.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, whether it's
That's what initially drew me to location, to be honest. I mean, was proximity to hubs, but then, you know, the building looks quite pretty. There's some nice facilities here I've heard of. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be rude. It looks like you're grabbing some food. Please do. Please no judgment from me on that. I'm on lunch too. I was stuffing my face in the car. It's okay. Do you want to get some proper food? We could take a quick tour.
Oh no, well, if we want to get to the tour, we should probably just get to the tour. But I can't really.
Okay, sounds good.
I can't really leave.
But take some muffins, okay?
Give me a.
It's not going to make or break a deal for me.
Give me an etiquette or contest, whichever you're trying to do to kind of convince her to relax a bit.
Yeah. Do. Oh my gosh, Chummer is so odd in its organization somehow. Do. So etiquette or I guess etiquette in this case. So we'll do etiquette plus charisma. Not really trying to trick her. She's trying to be pretty genuine and authentic. That yeah, she's not gonna like judge her for having food. She's a human person. Well, or an elf person, or a she's a person.
She's human, as far as you can tell. 2 successes. She kind of looks around, and you see her grab. She doesn't grab a muffin. She grabs a pastry, a small flaky pastry, and wraps it up in a napkin, and just kind of slides it into her jacket pocket.
I think Mercury might grab one of the same pastries and give her a wink.
They're fruit filled.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
But
well, that's like plus 10 points for the building, okay?
And then she says really loud, and when it comes to client impressions, nothing beats the prestige of a downtown address.
Oh, absolutely.
She gestures to the elevators.
Let's go take a look.
Will your people be joining us?
I hopefully. I drove all the way here. You're coming with, right?
Of course.
Can I get a logic and either security or hardware from Rusty, please? Okay, looks like 2 successes.
Oh.
Okay. As you all continue to kind of move and you watch them begin to move to the elevator, you notice again the camera is not following Hollow Mercury or the client. It seems to just kind of be locked in on Cowboy. And the way that it's moving is a little, we'll say, human. You're pretty certain that someone is manually operating that camera or remotely operating that camera. She presses the call button on the elevator. So maybe we talk about office space itself. We've got several suites available, ranging from 150 to 1,000 square meters, all customizable to your specific needs. Base rent starts at 10,000 Nuyen per month, which includes high-speed matrix access, dedicated bandwidth, critical for maintaining seamless operations, like yours. She seems to kind
Quite
of pause.
reasonable, to be honest.
She nods and smiles.
I'm getting excited to take a look. Mercury is just fully going to, not as obvious as she can be, but is basically going to try to become best friends with Maria.
Okay. You hear the boom, boom as the elevator door slides open with a bit of a hiss. After you.
Thank you. She'll step out with just pure excitement on her face.
She gestures to the rest of you.
Yeah, I get in the elevator.
It occurs to, again, to either one of you who have any desire to interact with systems here, you're relatively certain if you get on that elevator, there's no way in hell that you're going to be able to do so.
I'm gonna excuse myself. I think I need to use the restroom and grab more tissues. I'll meet you guys there.
Sounds good.
Cowboy?
Please.
Yeah, I'll stay with Rusty.
Okay. So you all begin padding down the hallway toward the restrooms. The other two get on the elevator. We'll make sure that security can see them up whenever they're ready.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And she presses
You know how
button.
easy it is for them to get lost? I swear I'm the only one in the company with direction sense.
She presses button
Get it from my
69.
father, of course, the founder.
Oh, of course. Father's right.
Yup.
She presses 69 when the doors close.
Do 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 do.
Begin the slow rise to the girl from Ipanema that always plays inside Hollow Mercury's head. So as you all are going up, Maria begins once again launching into her spiel. So on top of that, we do offer enhanced security services tailored to each tenant. For an additional $2,500 per month, you get 24/7 on-site security with biometric access controls and a direct link to Lone Star's quick response teams. Discretion is our top priority, which is why we're trusted by some of the most sensitive operations in Seattle.
That sounds interesting. I'm wanting to break into more critical short-term transfer of important materials, ideally this is going to be a location more for data storage and this sort of thing, but maybe some quick response security could be within the budget. Sounds nice. And you can never put too much of a price on safety, right?
Of course not. How did you come to hear about our opportunities here?
She's going to just name drop some random name. Told me about it over a really, really boring conference. The only thing I remembered was the description of the outside of the building. I had to look for this place, but it looks so nice. I had to check it out,
Oh, of course. She looks at you, Saint. Smiles.
I smile.
I'm hoping that if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them. I'm glad to ease any concerns you may or may not have.
I'm wondering, the quick response, how many tenants would you figure here in the building take such a thing, just by percentage?
Well, most of the tenants that operate offices don't really concern themselves too much. But some of our more discretionary tenants, private institutions, firms that need to utilize discretion in their own way, have asked for additional services around the clock.
My role within the firm is to be mindful of security procedures.
Well,
that's why it's the strong silent type. Kind of cute though, hey?
Well, so there are a few other services that we do make available to those sensitive to their privacy. For example, private elevators. There are a couple of elevators that we can make available to exclusive clients, depending on how much space you decide to take up on any given floor. Additional soundproofing, astral security, and that includes anything
I hadn't even thought about astral security.
Active warding to spirit monitors. Matrix isolation is also an option that we provide.
That may become useful. Private elevators,
sounds like a
though,
holistic approach.
I mean, obviously, these services come with a bit of a markup, but you seem like very careful people.
You have to be in this business.
The elevator's moving. It's not moving really fast. It's also not moving really slow. But when you look, you're not nearly as close as you want to be. I'll come right back to you. Those of you heading down the hallway toward the restrooms, you see a couple of restrooms that are obviously available. You also see what looks like employee entrance to what is probably like maintenance halls or back hallways. And you pass another security door.
I might actually. I assume in the future restrooms are still private, right? Like no microphones and or security cameras in there.
I mean, this state owned. This is Seattle operated, so they kind of have to operate under the same liberties and freedoms, assuming that you have a sin. So if you have a sin, you have rights. That's what you know.
Okay. I'm mostly just looking for a quiet place at the moment to sort of catch Cowboy.
You're pretty
Sorry,
sure the
what's up?
bathroom. You're pretty sure the bathroom's quiet.
Perfect. I'll just beeline it to the bathroom really quick.
Someone is washing
Yeah.
their hands as you go in.
Kind of figured. Whew! I'm gonna use this so hard right now. Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry. Thank you for coming security with me. Yeah. Okay. So and then I just go into a stall as fast as I possibly can.
You rapidly hear somebody use a hand dryer and make their way out of the bathroom. Clip, clap, clip, clap, clip, clap, clip, clap.
Just for good measure of it. Just in case.
Okay. How convincing are you trying to be?
For the realism.
Not really convincing. I figured the acoustics would probably do half the work for me.
Okay.
Cowboy, did you catch my camera?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, cool. I don't know what sort of beef that camera has with you, but I'm guessing there's somebody behind that camera that has something, a beef, or recognizes you or something.
That I don't know who would recognize me here, but just in case, I take down my hair. I take off my blouse. Underneath is just a regular, like, nice-ish tank top, and I break the heels on each of my shoes
Okay.
to make them flats.
Gotcha.
I do have disguise.
Mhm.
If you want me to roll that.
Sure. Why don't you go and roll disguise for me? Love it.
A 1.
So as you're kind of getting yourself situated, as you are getting we'll say the second heel snapped off of your shoe, someone else comes into the restroom as you're kind of holding the heel in your hand. See a woman. She's maybe, I don't know, early 30s, dressed business casual. She seems to kind of start at the snap of the heel. Oh my. Oh goodness, are you okay? Is everything all right? Comes over to you.
Oh, you know how these things are.
Oh, absolutely.
Never learned to
the
walk in them.
worst.
Yeah, it broke off. It's just easier this way.
Well, she kind of looks you up and down, kind of gives you one eye. I do keep an extra set of sneakers in my locker if you need a hand. Is there anyone do you work here? I'm sorry. I'm Gladys. She offers you her hand.
I shake Gladys's hand. Does Gladys have an ID anywhere?
You see that she's wearing a badge. It's kind of attached to her jacket, dangling on the right-hand side.
Should never put it at your waist level. Yeah, Don. I think I'm my bosses are here for a tour of the 90s of the 69th level.
Oh.
Yeah, we just came to use the restroom.
Oh, no, I understand entirely, and trust me, I realize how awkward it is. Things in the bathroom, but she like points at your shirt. It's like hanging over there right now. It's like off the edge of the sink. I wasn't really sure what to. She kind of looks over her shoulder and hears Rusty. Boy, what a day to be in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, we are all just a hot mess today. I got coffee on my shirt. It, you know,
Oh,
if a man were to do that, they'd be just fine wandering around all day with coffee on their shirt.
so I'm gonna need you to give me either a charisma con or charisma etiquette roll if you want to try to endear yourself to this person. You will receive a +1 bonus because, well, you're a little disheveled. Um, let's see. This is a 666
Yeah,
on that roll.
3.
All right. We'll tell you what. If they're busy taking a tour, maybe we should. My offices are right upstairs. I was just stopping in maybe they deserve some privacy. Look, I'm up on the 3rd floor. Do you want to? Do you want to just walk up with me, and I can get you some shoes?
Oh, that that would be wonderful.
And maybe we can bring your friend some antacids.
Yeah, hey, you gonna be okay in there for a
Please
couple
don't talk
minutes?
to me while I'm in here. Just please leave me alone.
Of course, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
The Gladys woman, like, picks up one of the heels that's remaining and like offers it to you and just kind of walks out of the bathroom with just a look of absolute concern on her face.
Yeah, I'd probably follow behind.
Okay. She leads you to the stairwell. You see she takes her badge and bloop, swipes it at the door. It opens. I like to take the stairs to make sure I get a little movement in. The desk does nothing for my assets. She seems to kind of look you up and down again. It's an amazing fit. He's walking up the stairs. So how long have you been with your company? What it's the 60s, huh? Must be a pretty big deal.
Oh yeah, I guess you could say they're kind of like a power player in town.
Well, yeah, we just have a small accounting firm. We rent the space and actually we have to rent out a bit of it to some day traders. They're obnoxious, but nonetheless, we do with what we can. She walks you up 3 flights. You find yourself on, well, 6 flights technically. You find yourself on the 3rd floor. It's right down here. She opens the door and holds it open for you. Are you sure you're okay? Every time I snap a heel, my ankles get twisted. Do you have a personal trainer? Where do you train?
Oh, I do a lot of Zumba.
Huh. Zumba. She continues walking you down the hallway. I guess I do a little bit more Roomba than Zumba, huh? It's
You know,
over.
Once you really get started, 3, 4, 5 days a week, 6 a.m. They play a lot of dubstep.
She seems to look perplexed when you say dubstep. You're not really sure what's going on in her head, but she keeps nodding. You walk to an office. Again, she takes her badge out, swipes it, bloop, bloop, opens up the door. It's a wooden security door, frosted glass. You see that the door says Gladys Opal and Associates. She holds the door open for you. Yeah, I'm on my lunch break, so no one's actually. Well, it's just me here right now. Me and the day traders. And then when she says that, and you walk into the office, you hear the buzz of trade bros in the background. And you watch her like turn, like she twists her nose. The locker room's just back here. She walks you through a very quaint looking office. And you can see that it looks like at one point maybe she had a lot of business. As she goes back toward, the locker rooms area, the area where she says like her changing rooms are, you can see that there are cubicles that look like they used to be useful. And now they're just packed with tchotchkes and posters and ceramic mugs and paperwork and people that are loud and yelling at each other on like multiple headsets, swearing and throwing things occasionally. There's people are wearing suits and ties, but they're all in various states of distress and stress. She sighs. She kind of takes a hard right into what looks like a kind of bathroom, changing area. You see that this area has there's like a shower in here, a couple of stalls, and a small locker. A small set of lockers. She goes over to one of them and pops it open. 5.5's okay.
Down at my feet. Might be a little snug, but that's totally fine.
She reaches in and grabs a pair of white tennies. Maybe they'll get you through the day. I hope. I really am sorry.
Oh, that's no problem. You are very kind to offer me your own shoes. Did Gladys clip her badge back to her again?
Yeah, it's still on
Back
her.
to her lower coat
it's on
again?
it's on an elastic lanyard, so she just does this, lets it snap back into place.
But it's lower than normal?
It's hanging off her
Or
jacket,
worse?
yeah.
Yeah. Are we alone in the locker room?
Oh yeah. You're pretty sure she's the only woman on this floor. Besides
Oh,
you now.
besides me. Okay. Yeah, I put on the shoes and they're a little snug. My feet are a little larger than 5.5. But but it's okay. Shove my feet right into them. It'll be better than wearing heels, flats, whatever.
Broken heels, yeah, probably.
Yeah. And then I get up and I get really close to Gladys. How old is Gladys, by the way?
Early 30s.
Oh, okay. So she's young.
Mm-hmm.
The name like Gladys, I was thinking
she's like 80.
Not in her early 30s. And so I get real close to Gladys, like really close. Like
her eyes get a little
so
wide.
Close. What's that?
I said her eyes get a little wide. She doesn't pull away.
I really appreciate you giving me your shoes.
Sure. Welcome to them anytime.
And I'm like leaning, like I'm probably taller than her as an elf.
Yes.
So I'm leaning down, and I got one arm up above a locker. You know how like guys like they do in high school. Hey,
sure.
girl. And lean down and maybe I can buy you a drink later.
Sure. Of course, yeah. She kind of fumbles around in her jacket without really taking her eyes off of you.
And as I'm trying to get her to be flustered, I want to take her ID badge.
All right. What skill do you have that will allow you to do so?
Yeah, I don't know. Could I use sneaking?
Oops. Just blip something out of existence. This would be a sneaking work, sure.
Good. So good. I have 4 successes.
Oh yeah, you just kind of easily palm it, and it slides into your hand. Even though you're only wearing a tank top, it just kind of effortlessly passes into your pocket. You notice that she stopped breathing. She kind of takes a breath in. She watches your arm move. Between you, her hand appears holding a small white card. It's like shaking. Call me.
Oh, I will. I just take it and put it down in between my breast and my shirt. And then I turn around and walk out. And go back down to the restroom to see how Rusty's faring.
Okay. Boom. We reach the 69th floor. The elevator doors open.
Nice.
And here we are. And beyond security, we offer optional services to enhance your experience here. For 1,500 Nuyen a month on top of your rent, you get access to potentially a rooftop, which offers access to a private helipad, an executive lounge with breathtaking views of Seattle. Plus, our private transport service can ensure your key personnel and VIPs, she points to you, Mike, are transported safely and discreetly without the hassle of navigating public transport.
Uh,
Oh, what is the
yes,
view like here? Just gonna look out the window.
It's an awesome view, honestly. You see the park below, and beyond that, you can see well into the Seattle skyline over the highway. In short, we provide not only office space, but a secure and prestigious environment that can help Shipping, Receiving, Logistics Incorporated thrive. So perhaps we can discuss how to tailor the space to meet your exact needs. What do you think?
I think we should, yeah. I mean, I can't speak for all of us immediately. I think the answer is probably going to be yes. We'll have to have meetings about it. But let's pretend we're going to get a yes for that. And let's talk a little more in detail. So we need primarily data storage at the moment, although some storage of material goods could be beneficial. Nothing hazardous. We're not going to be carrying explosives.
As you're talking,
And
she is just tapping on a data pad and nodding.
Yeah, exactly. She's just gonna ramble about like pretty legitimate logistics enterprise needs. She is a corporate cog. This is her stage. She knows all of this shit. She's gonna ramble specifications for the size of a data center, for the types of systems that they need, for et cetera, like power demands. She's just gonna keep rambling for friggin' ever. And hopefully at some point, someone else on the team will do something useful.
So you have you have a captive audience at this point. So Saint, what are you doing?
I will sub vocal or just openly mention to Mercury that we'll need access to the private elevator, of course, for particular clients.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. What's the
And
private elevator look like?
That's a good
Maybe
question. We should find
customized?
out.
So there are only so the private elevator is shared between a couple of our clients, depending on their needs. So we do our best to make sure that we match schedules and to avoid conflicts, and if need be, provide access to multiple. But there are a few different options available.
Well, given the high security nature of what we deal with, and of course the competitive market forces at will,
Oh, gosh,
might
yes.
it might be helpful to know if there are any conflicts within the building already.
Okay. What's the nature of your business outside of logistics?
Well, it's not anything outside of logistics. It's those who might potentially seek to gain information browsed at random at intervals before sharing an elevator. You understand, of course.
She she slots the stylus and like kind of puts the data pad down. I understand, I believe. So what you're looking for is more of a few of our exclusive options. Things like
I like exclusive options.
perhaps a concealed entrance or um, zero visibility to the other tenants. There are a few companies here who just rent out entire floors for such purpose.
That's an option. I could see the long-term benefit of having an entire floor. What do the tenants who rent entire floors? Is their preface just to have the entire floor to themselves and keep it secure?
Well, and perhaps you'll find this particularly interesting. There's an academy on the 67th floor, one of our most private institutions here. And while I'm not at liberty to discuss the nature of their contract or the benefits that they take advantage of, they value their privacy, and their studies require complete confidentiality.
Mm.
Academy is an interesting neighbor. Huh.
Well, they keep to themselves for the most part, and they do receive visitors from time to time, but they are screened by our personnel downstairs and allowed access through the general elevator. Most of the tenants use the private access that they have access to.
Makes sense.
So amenities and additions are one thing, but
I
I'm
have questions
assuming we
about
could.
amenities, but you go first.
I was assuming that you wouldn't have any problem signing leases today, effective immediately.
Oh, of course not. This space is immediately available. I was actually surprised to see the appointment come through so quickly at noon.
Let me look
Again,
around
thank you
this.
so much for taking the time to meet with me today.
Let me finish looking around the space.
Oh, please
I
take
can
your
help.
time. I'll summarize some of the details that we've already discussed and see if I can come back with a quote for you.
Sounds good. Sounds good. When Saint wanders off, it's gonna elbow her a little bit. So, are there any like luxury facilities here? I'm talking spas, restaurants.
So, while there are a number of places in the office park to engage in leisure activities, the Orion building itself is for operations only. While
Right.
some residents do maintain lounges and cafeterias and additions for their employees, we allow our residents to do with that space as they will. So if you want to put
Well,
in a
that's not a
sauna,
deal breaker for me. I can walk across the street,
but if you
get
want
my
to put in a
steps in,
sauna,
you know?
you're welcome to it.
Oh, I do like a good sauna.
Saint, what do you want? What are you looking for when you walk around?
I'm looking for essentially, based on the security structure of the location, I'm looking for ways we could get down. Now,
Okay.
the general elevator is one, but probably unlikely. The private elevator is probably more feasible if we have access to it. So I'd have to determine where the elevator is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think going full on, Tom Cruise and scaling the outside of the building and going down is a good idea either.
It was.
So why don't you give me a perception test if you would?
I would.
Do you happen to
And
have
what
any architectural skills?
I have security procedures.
Go ahead. You can
and
roll
then
that. It's fine.
okay. I am also going to roll edge with this.
Okay.
Because I kind of feel like I should. So, all right, 5 successes. But there are what? 3 6s in there. So I'm going to roll 3 more dice.
Is that on the perception test?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll those, please.
And so that's 7 hits total.
So you're browsing the upstairs space. You take a look around, end up kind of in the back offices. This space here is adjacent to another space. You notice that the rental spaces don't seem to have a lot of doors. It's just a kind of, there's like open walls and arches, right? So you're kind of moving from space to space.
Right.
And as you go back to what you would consider like the main executive area, one of the structures near the restrooms, like the executive restrooms here, stands out to you. And you like walk into the office, you walk into the neighboring office, and when you go back out to the hallway, the wall looks about 6 feet out of place. And so you move over to the wall and you put your hand on it and you feel a hum. You feel
like HVAC?
No. You feel a hum of something moving. And it moves as it gets closer and closer and closer. And then it moves past you. This wall that you're looking at, this wall that you're kind of got your hands on, you get the feeling might be an elevator shaft.
Like a hidden elevator shaft.
Like it would be easy to install a door here, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take out my comm link and I'm going to message Mercury and say, secure the space immediately. I've got to wait to the 67th.
Okay. I can't speak for the board, but I'm pretty sure we're going to say yes. Do you want to just like start doing some paperwork?
Oh, you mean this paperwork? She handed you the datapad.
Oh my gosh, I kind of love you. Is that weird to say? Like,
If you sign that, I'll love you too. You
oh
so,
wow.
so for all the options that you presented and the space and everything else, what you end up with is a base rent of ten no 20 30 35,000 nuyen a month. 35,000 nuyen a month with a 3,500 deposit required immediately. And then rent is due first of the month following. And she would prorate you for this month, which there's not many days left. So all told, you're
Sure.
looking
We can do the deposit now.
deposit would secure the space
If the
for
worst
you.
happens and they come around and say no, I can eat that loss. And if it works, I'll buy you lunch.
The way the deposit goes,
Gotta make up for this one, hey?
deposit gets you the space. You have to pay the prorated rent before you can move anything in.
Oh yeah, of course.
But the deposit will get you and your immediate staff access to the building and the space.
Wonderful. That way we can start making measurements.
Okay, there will be a small background check involved. If you don't mind waiting, we can handle that for you as well.
Yeah, sure, no rush.
You see her get on the line, and as she does so, those of you who are outside, who are not outside, who are upstairs, kind of watching the world outside the window, as this is kind of being finalized, feel a rumble in the building. As below you, you watch the outside windows of parts of the building seem to erupt in a shower of glass. The building shudders as the reverberations of what feels like an explosion kind of rock you. Maria screams. Downstairs, on the third floor, you're entering the stairwell. When you feel the shudder, you feel the building kind of rumble a bit, and there's definitely a sound that's kind of a low boom that you catch. Rusty, the stall rattles, and that is where I'm going to leave you all today, with Maria screaming, the building shuddering, the glass exploding outward, and those of you planning an entrance. So we'd like to thank you all for joining us on today's episode. If we can get outros by our amazing cast, I would love to start with our person in the upper left, Mike.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mike, Chief Catalyst and head of the Old Ways, including the podcast and here on Twitch and various other places. I had a wonderful time playing with this cast, as we always do, and I look forward to figuring out who it is that is going to bring this building down. It's one of these four people you see.
Thank you so much. And following that, our rigger in the bathroom.
Hi, I'm Pesto Mystic, and I've been playing Rusty tonight, and I'm a little bit shocked by the stall shaking, so that's going to live with me for the rest of the night. I'll certainly be afraid of bathrooms. Thank you.
All right. And the locker room cowboy.
Hi, this is Morgan. I have played Cowboy tonight. I'm an Old Ways member, and I'm a member. I'm the Old Ways podcast as a cast member. You can generally find me on that Discord talking about movies, TV, music, posting funny stuff. And then I'm on the Children of Periphery podcast. My God, I can't talk tonight. I'm so sorry.
You're doing
I
great.
just failed. Um, I'm on the 6 seasons of Sartar campaign and also on Children Periphery over on the Old Ways podcast. Hop on over, give us a listen. There's lots of good shows. Had a great time tonight. Looking forward to next time.
Excellent. And last but most certainly not the least of our troublesome warriors.
Hey, I didn't even do that much that was troublesome this time. I feel like so many things could have gone so much worse, but thanks to our listeners and viewers at home, they didn't. So anyways, hi, I'm Bunny Hearted and or Millie Sheener, or they and them are cool with me. I'm a doofus retro anime V-girl, VTuber nonsense bean. Don't worry about it. And I've been here playing Hollow Mercury, our total additional nonsense bean, our facey thief, who at least gets to do socializing and not have to look at a computer. We should hire a computer person, but it's kind of more fun not to. In fact, I'm resolving right now that we should just simply never hire a proper hacker because this is a blast every time. Speaking of blasts, I look forward to collapsing with the building. Woo!
Awesome. And the building looks forward to collapsing with you. I have been Lecco, your game master for drake.Revenge today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the Hands of Fate. Thank you for saving our players from disaster. More disasters to come. You can catch me on the Old Ways podcast playing a long lost brain mage in the Rise of Babylon campaign, Mage of the Ascension. You can also catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TeamLeco, where I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76 and occasionally doing game dev stuff. So thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.